Today on Happiest Camper, we are going to show you 2 easy ways to sew a button. Why is it that buttons seem to work their way off of all your clothes? If you're like me, you might have a box of buttons from things that have lost their buttons. With this easy sewing tutorial, we will help you get all of those missing buttons back on your clothes in just minutes. Let's get started. We will begin by showing how to sew on the 2-hole button. Start this simple sewing tutorial by making sure that your needle is small enough to fit through the holes of the button. First, we'll need to thread the needle. Poke the newly sharp edge into the eye of the needle. Now, you will pull the thread through to your desired length. I usually like to over-measure this to allow plenty of room for error. 10 inches should be enough. Once you've reached the length you need, match it up with the rest of the thread and cut. You should have 2 sides of thread that are the same length at this point. Now, cross the ends back over the thread. You'll want to create a loop to tie a knot with. This will keep your new button in place. Pull the loop to make a knot and pull it tight. Coming from the underside of the fabric and underneath the button, poke the threaded needle up through one of the 2 holes. Next, pull the thread all the way through until it is tight. Poke the needle down through the other hole from the top. Now, pull the thread through and tighten it again. Close to where you began your stitching, this will be where the knot is, poke the needle back through the fabric. Be sure it comes through the same hole you went through the first time. Now that we are almost finished with how to sew a 2-hole button by hand, repeat the last 4 steps to really make your button secure. I usually aim for doing it about 7 times just to be safe. After you've completed that, we need to tie off the thread. After your last stitch comes out of the back, ensure the thread is on the back side of the fabric, not the side with the button. Pull your thread tight. Insert your needle into one of the loops you created with your sewing. Then you will pull your thread to create a loop, but don't pull it all the way tight. Insert your needle into this loop. Now, pull the thread tight to create a knot. Repeat this knotting process again if you wish to make your button very secure. You don't want it to fall off again. To sew a 4-hole button by hand is a very similar process, but with its own nuances. You will start by threading the needle and tying off the ends of the thread. Add your button where you want it to be and insert the needle through one of the holes, coming from underneath the fabric. Pull the thread through the fabric until it is tight. Next, diagonally across from the first hole you put the thread through, poke your needle down into this hole. Pull the thread tight through the back side of the fabric. Again, coming from underneath the fabric, poke your needle up through a hole that you have not poked through before and pull your thread tight. Next, diagonally across from this hole, poke your needle down through this hole and pull the thread tight through the back. Now you're getting somewhere. Essentially, you are creating an X shape through the holes. Go back to the first hole you sewed through. Now, continue creating this X shape with the thread. This will ensure your button is tight. 4-hole buttons are great for heavyweight fabrics like coats, and you can see why. You can make a much sturdier connection with the 4-hole over the 2-hole. You are almost finished with the How to Sew a 4-Hole Button tutorial. Now, flip your work over to the back side. Your needle should be on this side of the fabric already from your last stitch. Carefully poke your needle through one of the sewn loops. Pull your thread, but not all the way tight. You will create a loop here. Next, insert your needle through the loop you created. Pull your thread tight to tie a knot. If you want to make it more secure, you can reinforce your knot by tying an additional one. Finally, snip your thread close to the knot. Your button is attached. You're done. Now that you know how to sew a button on 2 ways, you're ready to tackle almost any button project. Fix your favorite sweater or blouse or scarf or whatever. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on our latest sewing content. We have so many sewing tutorials you can follow along with to sew something new. Thanks for watching.